Good afternoon, everyone. I think we are ready to get started. My name is Rachel Bakke, and I am the Director of Admissions at UW Green Bay. And I'm so happy to welcome our students, counselors, and teachers who are joining us today from the Green Bay Area Public Schools for the UW Green Bay and Nwtc Engineering Virtual Field Trip. So we understand how hard this past year has been on you, and we understand that the virtual world is not ideal. And like you, we wish that we could all be in person today for the event. But we do want to thank each of you who has showed up for taking time to learn about engineering programs and careers. And after our program today, we are going to be sending a survey out to gather some feedback on today's program. So everyone that's able to fill out the survey will be entered into a drawing to win some fun swag. So please keep an eye out on your email after this session. We'd love to hear your feedback. So I'm going to give a little background on our agenda today. Our first hour of the presentation will be from UW Green Bay faculty members in the mechanical, environmental, and electrical engineering areas. We then have a panel of current students from each of those areas. So you'll be able to hear from some current students who will share some insight about their classes, their majors, any internship opportunities that they've had, and more. And then after our student panel, we're going to hand it over to Nwtc, and they will showcase some of their engineering programs. Now, before we dive into the sessions, I do want to quickly walk you through the Blackboard learning environment. We are recording today's session, so throughout the presentation, we will keep your cameras off and your microphones muted. The platform itself is pretty straightforward. On the bottom right of your screen, you will see a purple arrow, and that's the Collaborate panel. So once you click that arrow, there will be a group chat called Everyone. So if you have any questions during the presentation, just type it into that box, and one of our staff will make sure that your question gets asked and answered. Next, I would like to take a quick moment to have our career coaches from UW Green Bay introduce themselves. I'm going to have Evelyn kick us off.
Thank you, Rachel. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Evelyn Naziri. As Rachel said, I am a career coach. I am at Green Bay East, West, JDAL, and the New School of Innovation. If there's one thing I want you to remember from this afternoon, is that this is an academic and career planning field trip, right? When you think about careers and what college degrees you need for them, think of me. Think of myself and Vicki as the career coaches who can help you, even while you're in high school, identify what you need to be involved in, what classes you need to be taken. And then when it's time to apply for college, definitely keep us in mind, because we love to help students with their college applications, as well as figuring out how to pay for college. Financial aid, everyone. So again, thank you for this minute, and I really am happy to see you all here.
All right, Vicki.
Hi everyone, my name is Vicki, and I'm also the career coach for Preble and Southwest High Schools.
Thank you both. So as Vicki and Evelyn had mentioned, they are here to help with your college planning, whatever your needs are. So if you have not met with them yet this year, I encourage you to do so. And a little bit later on in the program, you'll be hearing from your Nwtc career coaches as well. So now I want us to segue to why we are all here today. We are so excited for you to hear from our brilliant faculty and students in the engineering program. But before we do, I would like to make a warm welcome and introduce our Dean of the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology, John Caters, who is going to share a few words.
Thank you, Rachel. My name is John Caters, and I am the founding Dean of the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology at UW Green Bay. I'm very excited that you're all participating in this program today. And as you've already seen and heard, there are many great things happening at UW Green Bay, and in the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology. Before I get started on some of those details, I do want to share a bit on my background, in part because I'm a product of the Green Bay Public School District. So I attended K through 12 my entire career in the Green Bay Public School District, and actually graduated from Green Bay Southwest High School. And although that seems like a long time ago, like you, I was faced with choices on where to go to college, what types of careers to be thinking about, and ultimately I decided to pursue a degree in engineering. And again, I had some challenges too in terms of this. I was a first-generation college student. I had a dad that was disabled in a work accident. So again, UWGB ended up being a really good choice for me at that particular time with everything that was going on. At that time, unfortunately, UW Green Bay only had a pre-engineering program, but I decided to start at UW Green Bay, take my first 2 years, take all the math, take all the physics, take all the chemistry, knowing that I was going to have to transfer to a different institution. And ultimately, to make a long story short, transferring did not work out very well. I ended up at a university that I was not as comfortable at. I ended up probably in the wrong type of engineering. And after a year, I decided to come back to UW Green Bay, where I really enjoyed the learning environment, the small class sizes, interacting with the faculty, some of whom I still get the opportunity to work with today. I subsequently able to stay at UW Green Bay and got a bachelor's degree in environmental science and business, which was an interesting combination at that point in time. Stuck around and got a master's degree in environmental science, but always in the back of my mind, I wanted to get this engineering degree, and ultimately went down to Marquette University in Milwaukee and completed a PhD in civil and environmental engineering. And again, really great opportunity to come back and work at UW Green Bay starting in 1995. I joined the faculty in 1999 and became the dean in 2016. And looking back, when I was a high school student, I didn't even know what a dean was at that point in time. So now I kind of would describe it as the principal of the sciences, I guess is the easiest way to think about it. Fortunately for you guys, you don't have to worry about transferring if you're interested in an engineering degree, because with the formation of the Richard J. Resch School of Engineering at UW Green Bay in 2018, students now have the opportunity to complete a number of engineering technology and engineering degrees right here at UW Green Bay and don't need to transfer. I certainly wish that was the case when I started at UW Green Bay, but again, a lot of progress has been made, and that's a great opportunity for everybody in our community. So this includes 3 degrees in engineering technology that were started several years ago, and those degrees are in mechanical engineering technology, and we've got about 50% of our engineering technology students are in that program. Electrical engineering technology, and about 30% of our engineering technology students are in that program. And environmental engineering technology, and about 20% of our students are in that program. These degrees are very hands-on in nature, maybe a bit more so than a traditional engineering degree. And our graduates are finding employment at many local companies in a variety of different industries that are prominent in the region. So if you're looking at careers, there's the opportunity to stick around right here. And one of the great things about Northeast Wisconsin is about 25% of our jobs are still manufacturing related, which makes us kind of a rarity across the country. But this also creates a lot of opportunities for our graduates. So that's a really great thing. So again, a lot of jobs out there, internship experiences, capstone projects, all of those things to make your experience at UW Green Bay, very interesting, very meaningful, and give you a lot of experience as you go out and look for a job. In 2018, we actually started a new degree in mechanical engineering, which is a bit more theoretical and requires a bit more math. But that also has a large number of hands-on experiences in it as well, and some of those you'll get to see in a few minutes. This program's grown very rapidly. We've already got about 150 students in the program, which is about 50% more students than we actually expected when the program was approved. And many of those students are from local high schools or are transferring in from other institutions. So the growth has been really excellent in that program. We did have our first graduate in that program in December, and so that's a very excellent thing. And much like the engineering technology programs, these students are also finding great opportunities for employment. The mechanical engineering program is largely housed in the Brown County STEM Innovation Center, which was opened in the fall of 2019 and has multiple labs that are equipped with the latest technologies. This was a $15 million building that was funded by the state, the county, and also a large number of private donors. And you'll get to see some of the labs in the STEM Center and learn more about the programs from our faculty in a few minutes. We're also very excited to be adding a new engineering program in the fall, which is going to be electrical engineering. And similar to mechanical engineering, we expect the enrollments in that program to be very strong, with similar employment opportunities also available in the region. And to make room for that program, we're actually going to be embarking on a $5.7 million renovation project, which is going to be starting in May. and that's going to create some new labs for electrical engineering technology, electrical engineering, and physics. And that project is expected to be done in January of 22. And those labs will also have about $1 million worth of new equipment in them that the students will be able to work on, which is also an excellent opportunity. So as dean, I always say the three most important things for our college is to focus on people, programs, and partnerships. And in a few minutes, you're going to get to meet some of the great people that we have within our college. And I couldn't be more proud of what our students, what our faculty have been able to accomplish in a very short time. You're also going to get to hear a lot about our great engineering programs, which have grown rapidly and been expanded to meet the needs of the region. And finally, I do need to say that none of this is possible without the partnerships that we have with local businesses. And that's critically important in terms of them providing equipment, funding, opportunities, again, for these internships, capstone projects, things like that. And also very importantly for the students, these companies are providing a large amount of support for student scholarships. And so we've got some very big donors. Richard J. Resch obviously has his name on the School of Engineering. Green Bay Packaging has been a huge contributor. Wisconsin Public Service, Bellmark, and many others. So without these companies, again, a lot of this stuff just doesn't happen. So with that, I'd like to once again thank you for participating in the program and look forward to answering any questions that you might have at the end of the program. And at this point, without further ado, I'd like to turn the program over to our faculty and students. And I'm going to start with two faculty members in mechanical engineering and mechanical engineering technology, which is Rasidul Islam and Jian Zhang. And so I'll turn it over to you guys.
Hi, this is Rashidul. I'm a mechanical engineer. I have done my PhD in robotics and control. I'm going to tell you about the mechanical engineering program. So basically, the mechanical engineering program is involving with design, analysis, testing, and manufacturing of power producing machines and power consuming machines. And it is the second largest field in all engineering departments. And there are so much flexibility. If you have a bachelor in mechanical engineering, you can switch to, or you can make your career in like robotics, HVAC, refrigeration, agricultural, mechanization, and also in power engineering. And you can also switch to like biomedical engineering and aerospace engineering. So the basic core mechanical engineering involves the material, manufacturing, design, dynamics, statics. And when we talk about the career choices, you have the flexibility, or you can choose work as a design engineer in an industry, like you are going to design a medical device, you are going to design a process. So in that way, you'd be also able to be a product engineer. You have choice to be system engineers, like you have a big system. For example, you are going to make a process for paper or packaging industry. So in that way, you also can be a manufacturing engineer. And as Dean Cater said just that 25% of manufacturing jobs are in northeastern Wisconsin, which is closely related to the Green Bay. You have the opportunity to build your career in manufacturing engineer. And then you can also be able to work as an application engineer. And the beauty of the mechanical engineering is you would be able to, and you will get to design, you will get to see how the machine works, how the machine elements works, and how they can perform, and you can turn those machines for the human, development of the human. For example, if you want to build a medical device like a rehabilitation robot that will give you the automated therapy, then you can help humanity, and from your work, humanity can be benefited. The mechanical engineering is also involved with the mechatronic engineering. So in Resch School of Engineering, we have different kind of lab, like the thermal lab, fluid lab, and the control lab, control and robotics lab. So using those knowledge, and we have the latest equipment, we have brilliant faculties. So they are, they are giving you the current age, the cutting edge teaching experience. So in that way, you will get to know the recent the recent trend in the engineering fields among the mechanical engineering, like the power engineering, energy efficient engineering, and then design engineering, mechatronics engineering, robotics, and control engineering. When it comes to the salary, the median pay annually in mechanical engineers for 87K per annum. That ranges from 68K to 108K. The top locations include like the San Francisco, Houston, and other places. The per hour median pay for mechanical engineering is like 42. And the demand for mechanical engineer is expected to grow at the rate of 4% in the next decade. As you can see, there are everywhere the automation is going on, which is the part of also mechanical engineering. So you have the opportunity to work in the automation industry. If you look at the many automation industry, like in Appleton, in Green Bay, in Sheboygan, in Milwaukee, there are so many automation industry. So you would be able to work there. And in our program, we have the blend of like control engineering, the automation, the robotics, the design. So this will give a student so that they would be able to work, what they choose to be in. And then when it comes to the ranking of engineering jobs, the mechanical engineering is the #3 best engineering jobs in US and number 41 top jobs in United States. And the unemployment rate of the mechanical engineer is pretty low. It's 1.6%. And as I said earlier, at Resch School, we have this brand new STEM Innovation Center. And here we have different kind of labs. As I said earlier, the control, robotics, mechatronics, and thermal labs, fluid labs, also mechanics of materials labs. So this will give you recent or the updated experience of mechanical engineering. And now I'm switching you to my colleague, Dr. Jian Zheng, and he will show you some instruments we have here at Thermal Lab.
Hello everyone, my name is Jian Zhang, and I am a faculty member in the mechanical engineering at UWGB. So now we are in the thermal lab. Now let me introduce the thermal lab to you quickly. So generally speaking, the thermal lab focus on the heat transfer problems and also other problems involving temperature. Okay, and here in UWGB, our thermal lab is able to conduct labs on all the 3 fundamental heat transfer methods. That is the conduction, convection, and the radiation. Okay, now let's look at the equipment. So firstly, let's look at this equipment. Okay, this is the radio heat conduction experiment unit, and this unit, this equipment is used to test the heat transfer, radio heat transfer. So as you can see, the heat is generated at the center, and then we will check the heat, how the heat is transferred radially from the center through the disk. Okay, and in real applications, the radio heat transfer is, for the think about the internal combustion engines in the vehicles, and the internal combustion engines involve the radio conduction process. Okay, the heat is generated in the center of the cylinder by combustion. Okay, and then the heat is transferred radially from through the cylinder wall to the engine block. Okay, so this is a real application for the radio heat conduction. And now let's look at next device. This device is the free and forced convection apparatus, and this device is used to investigate the heat transfer from different surfaces, different shapes of surfaces, to the surrounding air. Okay, now look at, we have different surfaces. This is the fin surface, and this one is the flat plate surface, and also we have a pinned surface which is already installed on. Okay, look at this device. We have a fan at the top of the device. This is a fan. Okay, during the experiment, the surface is heated. The surface is heated, and the heat is transferred between the surface and the surrounding air. And if we turn on the fan, then the fan will be blowing the air and to cool down the surface. And if we do not turn the fan, then the heat is only transferred from the surface and the static air. Okay, so in reality, there are many applications. So think about your fans in your laptops. Okay, many times you will hear the fan in your laptop blowing. Okay, this is because by using the fan, we can cool down the chips and cool down the elements faster. Okay, and also if you disassemble your laptop, you will see for many elements, the surface are finished. The surface are finished. This is used to enhance the heat transfer to cool down to make sure the elements can be cooled down quickly. Okay, so this is another device.
Hey, Cione, I think we're going to jump in and move to the next group here to stay on schedule, please, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Okay. So next we want to turn it over to Dr. Patricia Terry and Dr. Stefan Gunn, who are representing the environmental engineering technology discipline. And Patricia also serves as the chair of the School of Engineering. So.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Stefan Gunn, and I am assistant professor in the School of Engineering at UWGB. I joined last year, and I teach a couple of classes in the environmental engineering program of UWGB. And And I want to introduce you also to Dr. Terry, Patricia Terry, and she is the chair of the environmental of the engineering program.
Hi, so I just want to say hello from the chair of the program of all 4 of UW Green Bay's engineering and engineering technology programs. But I'm going to step aside and let Dr. Gunn tell you a little bit about what environmental engineering has to offer.
All right, thank you, Dr. Terry. So environmental engineering, when I say environmental engineering, what do you think about? Basically, I'll come back to this later, but this tells me a little bit about myself. But what does an environmental engineer do? Basically, we identify problems in the environment, and we try to design solutions to solve these problems to better human life or wildlife life. We try to enhance lives. Basically, environmental engineering is a people person profession. So a little bit about myself before I move ahead. So I am from the country of Togo in West Africa. I did my Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Engineering there. And I moved to the US where I did another Bachelor of Science of Environmental Science in Nebraska. Then I moved to Columbus, Ohio, where I did a Master of Science and a PhD in Agricultural Engineering. Then I did a postdoc with the US Department of Agriculture, Agricultural Research Service in Pennsylvania, in Penn State. And now I am here, joined last year, like I said. I teach a couple of courses, especially I teach fluid courses. I teach water and wastewater management courses, solid waste management courses. And in terms of interest, I am working on a couple of research programs with my colleague. One of them is looking at new emergent pollutant in the environment and trying to figure out to find solution to reduce the pollution, especially reduce and eliminate those pollutants in the in water system across Wisconsin. So those are some of my interests. I am also I have a big interest in water system modeling, trying to look at the mechanistic representation of different systems in computer modeling. So that's some of my interests. So moving ahead, I'm going to talk a little bit about some professions that are related to environmental engineering. One of them is, for example, working in drinking water treatment, drinking water management. Basically, as an environmental engineer, you can work in drinking water treatment plants. You can also work in wastewater treatment plants. You can work as the engineer in air pollution control systems, design those systems and come up with, try to work with regulator to make sure that our air is not polluted by industries, release of smoke in the air by industries. You can work in solid waste management and resource recovery. For example, you can come up with, you can design systems that can help capture the energy in waste, municipal waste system, and try to use that energy to produce energy for like household or for commercial building, industries, etc., etc. You can work with in ecosystem restoration, for example, restoration of waterways system. You can work in renewable energy generation. For example, I was talking about how to capture energy from solid waste, municipal solid waste. You can work in that. You can work on nuclear waste system, how to manage those waste systems. Briefly, you have a panoply of profession you can cover as environmental engineer. System modeling, like I said, you can work with agricultural producers, try to help them figure out how to better manage the manure in manure treatment. You can work in environmental biotechnology, try to come up with a biotechnology system to better manage waste, for example, or to improve water quality. In microbiology, environmental microbiology also, that's also an option. So moving ahead, what does an environmental engineer do on a daily basis? What do we do on a daily basis? So like I said, our goal is to identify problems in the environment, try to design systems to solve this problem and improve people's life, improve wildlife lives. So what do we do on a daily basis? We assess, so we look at the environment, what are the problems, what are causing this problem, try to research solutions, different solutions. Has this problem occurred somewhere else, and how was it solved? What were the solutions? Try to come up with all those solutions, access those solutions, and come up with specific plan that can be implemented to solve the problem, and try to design the system, construct the system, test those systems. We also work with regulators, for example, with EPA. Try to help EPA figure out different ways to implement laws. Those are some of the daily functions that an environmental engineer do. As an environmental engineer, what skills do you want to develop? Basically, you want to have a lot of imagination, That applies to all type of engineers, not only environmental engineers. You want to have interpersonal skills because you have to deal with people. Like I said, this is a people profession, so you'll be dealing with people, you'll be dealing with different organisms, organizations. You want to have problem-solving skills because first you need to have skills to be able to identify problems and how to come up with a solution to solve that problem. Reading and comprehension skills, very important if you want to be an environmental engineer or engineer in general, because you need to be able to figure out what solutions are already available for different problems. So you need to be able to have that skill. Writing skills, very important for all engineers, because any work you do, you have to communicate your work, your solution with your client or with your employer. You need to be able to communicate that to everybody. So very important to have the writing skills.
Yeah.
So this is briefly the skills you need to have as engineer and as environmental engineer.
Yeah. Hey, Stefan, I'm going to stop you
A
there.
little bit of money.
Stefan, I'm going to stop you there because we're at the time limit for your session, and I want to transition it over to the electrical engineers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just I need to share my screen. So can you hear me and can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone, and I really appreciate the opportunity to tell something about the electrical engineering. I really thank all the personals they have joined from Green Bay Area Public School District. So here, very briefly, actually, I would like to talk about the opportunities of electrical and electrical engineering technology students. Here, I would also like to tell that actually what are the opportunities also we have within UW Green Bay, and what are the potential employers for electrical engineering program. So for the entire presentations, actually, I'm Dr. Maruf Hussain, and I'm the Associate Professor of Electrical Engineering. My colleague, Dr. Upol Mahfouz, he is also the Associate Professor of Electrical Engineering, so he will give the presentation. And also, I will appreciate the help from Dr. Jagadip Thota. He will help us to show some of the equipments we have in the measurements and instrumentation lab. So actually, what is electrical engineering? So what are the equipments that deal with electricity or technology? That's the branch of electrical engineering. And I always say my students that actually dealing with electricity, this is sort of some of the basic needs of our life. We cannot think a movement actually without electricity, the way we are leading our life. So say if you consider your cell phone in your pocket, so in the cell phone you are having microchips. So from that microchips to, if we consider the large electrical power stations, so everywhere actually we see the opportunities for electrical engineers. So when any students actually come to my office and they want to know actually what are the opportunities for electrical engineers, then always I recommend them actually please go to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, just type electrical and electronic engineers, and you will see actually what is the median pay and what is the growth in the next 10 years. So we can see for electrical engineering professionals, the median salary is about 100K, and in the next 10 years, still we can see a steady growth, about 3%. And during this COVID time, actually, we are facing lots of realities, and Business Insider actually made an interesting report. Actually, what are the top 10 degrees they are seeing higher employee rate even during the COVID time. And you can find that electrical engineering is on the top 5 majors actually in the nation. So for the electrical engineers, if we consider the popular career options, so they can work in the power utility companies. All through US, there are over 500 utility companies. So the electrical engineers can work there. They work in the telecommunications like AT&T, Horizon, or in the field of signal processing. In the biomedical engineering also, lots of electrical graduates actually pursue their career also in aerospace or manufacturing testing. And currently, we are talking about plug-in vehicles or electric vehicles. So lots of opportunities also coming for the electrical engineers to work in the auto industry. And definitely there is room for research and development. As our Dean, Dr. John Catters, already mentioned that we are going to launch a new electrical engineering program from this fall, and we are having a major renovation actually in our lab, about $5.7 million renovation, and we are also going to purchase about $1 million equipment. So I'd like to give a quick overview actually what are the labs actually we are getting for our students. So we'll get electrical circuit labs, so that will lots of oscilloscopes, function generators, and other electrical equipments will be housed there to do the testing on electrical circuits. And electronic circuit lab would be much more similar with the electrical circuit lab, but actually students will do the testings on electronics. And also we will have a energy conversion lab. So you can see these are the equipments actually we are going to have from the next year. So in energy conversion lab, students will see different type of electrical machines. And I can give you an example. Say, for example, in an electric car, there are lots of applications of DC motors. So how we should connect them and how we should play with this with the help of power electronics. So students will get a hands-on training in the energy conversion lab. Also, currently still we have a automation lab. So we have lots of industries in our region. That's why we have some courses on PLC and automation, and students still doing lots of hands-on training in the automation lab. Also, we are thinking that it's very important for the hands-on training of students. So we will also have a senior design lab where 24/7, whenever the students are available, they can build something on their own with the help of the faculty members. So beside lab works, we have excellent opportunities for the students to do research, and these are some of the outcomes of the electrical engineering faculty members in the last 5 years. So we have about 4 patents and multiple peer-reviewed publications, and we are also working in research grants. And you can see that if you look the picture on bottom right, so Adam is one of our students, and that shows that how our students are involved in research, and we really appreciate the recognition even from the system and within the estate. So here actually I would like to briefly say actually what are the industries actually helping us to finding opportunities for our students, and we really appreciate all the supports we are getting from the different companies. Say for example WPS, Kohler, Georgia Pacific, PCMC, Fate Technologies, FOP, EMT, FICO, Hetco, Miller, and other industries actually hiring our graduates. Also, the students will get the opportunity to work with different national laboratory, say for example in the mobile companies, in car industry, or even Intel, Siemens, Schneider, and there are lots of industries even within the nation. They are hiring our graduates. So thank you so much. So this is very brief overview regarding electrical engineering and what are the opportunities we have. Now I am turning the microphone to my colleague, Dr. Upal Mahfouz, just to tell very briefly about the experience of our students here at UW Green Bay.
Yeah. Hi everyone, this is Upal Mahfouz, and I'm an associate professor. It's my 5th year at UWGB as a professor here. So when I teach a class, we try to collaborate with the industries. So when I teach my SCADA class, I take the students to the industries, and we always, for the last all the years, we went to WPS, we went to Georgia Pacific, we went to Pcmc and the other industries. And not only that, one of our students got admitted to a PhD program in a master's program at one of the top biomedical engineering schools in San Diego, and he was in my class, Spencer. And now Spencer is working as a global engineering department in Georgia Pacific. He is one of our best students at UWGB. And not only that, Kenton works in Pcmc as an engineer, and he is doing very, very good in Pcmc. Students of our class, they are hired in Georgia Pacific, in Pcmc, in Kohler, KI. There are many interns who work in KI and other companies, FICO, HATCO, those companies. So again, it's a pleasure to teach here at UWGB, and our students are so good, and we are always proud of our students. And I think that actually covers so much of things here. So now we are going to go over to Dr. Thota, and Dr. Thota will be introducing you to some of our lab equipments in automation lab.
Just within a minute, yeah, very briefly. Sure.
Everyone, due to the limited time constraint, I'm going to keep my talk in a few seconds. So I'm Dr. Tota. I'm the chair of the engineering program on campus. What you're seeing here, this lab is known as the Controls and Robotics and Measurements Lab. Now, controls is a multidisciplinary feature. So whatever the equipment you're seeing here is actually electromechanical instruments. So that means both electrical and mechanical engineering students are going to be using such instruments for conducting experiments. Controls is a very important area currently because in the industry, everything is going to be automated. So if you're looking at the paper industry currently, all those huge machinery are going to be using some type of control concepts and instruments for their operations. Also, the controls area is very vast. So in robotics, to control the arms, the legs, also in flight control, aerospace. Nowadays, also in medical, you can fully automate a surgery. So all these applications are useful using the controls application. So in my last concluding remarks, I just want to say, hopefully I see you all soon on campus and using these equipments in the future. So thanks for this opportunity, and with this I'll end my session. Thank you.
All right, thanks to all the faculty. We heard the faculty talk about several of our students. And at this point in time, we do want to turn it over to a student panel. And we've got 4 of our students, Jordan, Alyssa, Elizabeth, and Denny. And they will have the opportunity to tell you a little bit about their experiences at UW Green Bay. And Vicki and Evelyn will be here to facilitate any questions that you might have for our students. So with that, we'll turn it over to our student panel.
Thank you, Dean Caters. So, wow, I knew engineering was a part of every facet of our lives, but it was really amazing to hear the faculty and how passionate they are about their fields, as well as the growth and opportunities. With that said, I am going to ask each of our UW Green Bay students to introduce themselves with their name, major, what year they're in, and also their hometown and what they like about their major. So can we please start with Jordan?
Hi, so my name is Jordan Cione. I am a mechanical engineering major. This is my 4th year at UWGB. My hometown is Green Bay, Wisconsin, so I live not too far from here. And then my favorite thing about being an engineering major really is the creativity that you get to have with all of your work. Like, there's so much freedom and fun, and if you like a little bit of math in with it, it's just really great.
I love that, Jordan. Creativity, awesome. Can we kick it over to Alyssa?
Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm a mechanical engineering major. This is my 2nd year at college. I really like the major because I get to see how things work and like actually learn how things interact with each other that maybe you don't see with your eyes, and it's really nice to like actually be able to like test these certain things in our labs and stuff.
And where are you from, Alyssa?
Where are you from?
Sorry, I'm from Slinger, Wisconsin.
Cool, thank you. All right, how about Elizabeth?
Hi, my name is Elizabeth. I am a junior, and I'm from Oostburg, Wisconsin. The one thing that I really like about engineering is being able to work collaboratively with all of your classmates and to I'm very much like a group worker, so I like doing things as groups.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Last but not least, Denny, if you could please introduce yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Hi, my name is Denny. I'm a mechanical engineering major. I'm currently a junior in the program. And my favorite part about engineering has been, I guess, all the pathways that it opens up and the flexibility it gives. You can just go a lot of different directions with it, and also the creativity as well. And I'm from Luxembourg, Wisconsin. So.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. All right, so we have directed our high school students to type in the chat that's titled Everyone what questions they might have. But I'm just going to go ahead and kick it off with asking you each, what made you choose UW Green Bay? And we can go in the order you introduced yourself. So Jordan, what made you choose UW Green Bay?
So the reason I chose Green Bay was it was just right in my backyard, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't want to spend a ton of money exploring different degree options at a school that was going to be, you know, miles from home, and I would have to pay to live on campus. And, you know, then I just stayed because I loved it here. You know, like, the professors are awesome, campus is beautiful, it's really convenient, like, I don't know, it's just a great school.
Thank you, Jordan. Alyssa?
I chose UW Green Bay because I'm kind of from like a small town, but I like to like get out and do stuff. And that's like, the campus is like in the middle of like kind of like the wilderness. So like I like it in that sense that you don't have to worry about like a ton of traffic and stuff, but we're still like closer to like Lambeau Field and there's like tons of stuff to do. But it's kind of like set apart, so you're not like right in the busyness, and it's like Jordan said, it's a really beautiful campus, and it was cheaper than my other options.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Yeah, in admissions, we like to say you get the best of both worlds at UWGB. How about you, Elizabeth? What made you choose UW Green Bay?
I chose to go to UW Green Bay because I really enjoyed campus when I came here. I felt like I was at home, and it was really nice that it was only an hour away from where I live, so that if I ever wanted to go home, I could. And it was also financially a better school option, so that's why I chose to come.
Wonderful, yeah. Finances are a big part of the whole college experience. Lastly, Denny, we'd like to hear from you too.
Yeah, my number one reason for choosing UW Green Bay was affordability, definitely. But also, you're right in the vicinity of a lot of employers that can hire you, and it gives you the option to work part-time, but also during the school year. So that was a big thing, like working internships while also going to school.
Yeah, that's an excellent point as well. We do have a question. What has been your favorite engineering class and why? If does anybody want to just dive right in, or can I have you each answer the question in the order? All right, you're each getting to answer the question. Jordan, your favorite engineering class and why?
All right. So my favorite engineering class was parametric modeling. Maybe not my favorite class overall, but definitely like engineering major. That was the best engineering course I've taken so far. You're literally like creating things in SolidWorks, and then at the end you do a whole big assembly project. So you make like some product with a whole bunch of moving parts, and it's totally up to you what you build for that. And it's just a lot of fun to like build something.
Cool. It sounds pretty cool. Alyssa?
I really did like parametric modeling, so that's probably my second. But my first was definitely physics. I took physics in high school, so when I came, I had like a background, and it just kind of like clicked, and I understood most everything. I'm not saying that it was easy. It was definitely challenging, but it was kind of like fun to be able to solve the problems.
Nice. Elizabeth?
My favorite class was probably chemistry, and I took freshman year just because I just really enjoyed it when I took it. And even though it's not 100% like engineering based, it was still a lot of fun to take.
Yeah, yeah, I love my chemistry class in college. Denny.
One of my favorite classes so far has been, well, I'm in mechanics and materials right now. It's kind of interesting because it combines physics, statics, and it kind of gives you an idea of how forces and how structure reacts to forces. So.
All right, wonderful. We do have a few more questions. So the next one is college more hands-on? So rather than studying and writing, is it more hands-on in college? If somebody has an answer that they want to just start out with, you can raise your hand. And since we do have some more questions, I think just if 2 students want to answer.
I would say that, oh, sorry, Jordan. If you want to go, you can. But I guess I would say that so far, I mean, we have our labs, but I would say a lot of the classwork that you're doing is more theoretical.
So I was going to say there are certainly hands-on components, but a lot of it is really making sure you learn and understand the principles that are behind whatever you're doing. So it's going to sound like it's really not hands-on, but when you're like in there doing the math problems and figuring out how these equations work and what principles are governing the decisions you're making, it's almost like you're getting hands-on experience because you're really getting that understanding of what's going on.
So it's a lot of applying knowledge, I would think. Wonderful, thank you. Unless Alyssa and Elizabeth want to hop in, I can go to the next question that we have in the chat, which is, what courses should I look into if I want to work at Pcmc? I'm not 100% sure what Pcmc stands for.
That's where I currently work, paper converting machine company.
All yours, Denny.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that there's any specific classes that you should look into, since I guess the coursework's kind of structured based on what year you're in. But I would definitely try to knock out some engineering courses right off the bat if you can, because you have more flexibility in your freshman and sophomore year, I would say. I guess I think the biggest thing would be to get experience. Just get, like, for me, I studied restoring World War II Jeeps, and that was kind of just some experience that I had, some hands-on mechanical experience that I think was attractive when I interviewed. So I guess that's big, is try to get some experience outside of your classwork as well.
Thank you so much, Denny. Does anybody else want to add to some of the questions that we've had and topics we've covered? No? All right. What about extracurricular activities that you've been involved in during your high school, during your years at UW Green Bay? Jordan?
So I've been in a lot of extracurricular activities these past couple of years, but I want to quickly respond to Cater's question, scholarships. Yes, I think most of us here have actually gotten at least 1 or 2 scholarships. I know the faculty are really helpful in, like, you know, encouraging you to apply, and then also there's the Resch School of Engineering Scholarship, which is $700 just for maintaining satisfactory academic progress. So there certainly are scholarship opportunities. And then,
and all the local employers as well. I've set up quite a few scholarships.
And then I guess moving on to your other question, extracurriculars. So there's the engineering club, which I'm the president of this year. We do a lot. It's not the same as it normally would be because it's virtual, but we are still finding ways to keep people engaged, and it's a lot of fun. So we had a SolidWorks competition this past semester / over winter break, and everyone that wanted to compete, you know, built a really cool assembly. I'd love to show you guys some pictures, but I don't want to, like, figure out how to do screen sharing right now. But it was really cool just to see all the different things people made, and then the winner's going to get a free 3D printer. So, like, we're doing a lot of fun stuff for the engineering students, and it's exciting.
Who else wants to share some of their extracurricular activities?
I can talk about some of mine. So when I started here, we didn't have any, like, we had the engineering club, which I was a part of, but some of the girls that are in the engineering field wanted to make our own kind of club. So I started Women in Engineering here on campus, which is actually a lot easier. So if you guys don't find a club you want really bad, you can start one really easily. We do a lot of things like we talk to like women in the STEM field already and like try to get experience and make relationships that way. We started it kind of right before COVID hit last year, so we haven't really been able to like get our feet wet completely, but we are doing what we can in the time being. I'm also part of a sorority. It's called Kappa Beta Gamma, and they're amazing girls. So we have a bunch of like sororities and frats on campus, and honestly, it was really nice to like make friends that way.
Thank you so much for sharing those experiences. Anybody else want to hop in and say what extracurriculars they've been involved in during their time at UWGB?
Yeah, I can share a few. So
awesome. Thanks.
On the Rocket Club, and Jordan's also on that. And so we're building a rocket to compete in the WSGC rocket competition that will happen later in the spring. And so that's super exciting because you basically just get presented a problem and then you have to figure out how to solve this problem, like with like implementing it into your rocket. And so that has been a lot of fun and a lot of great hands-on experience specifically for engineering. And then I also do like intramurals on campus. I'm a part of crew and also a part of NRHH.
So much fun. All the awesome things. And lastly, Denny, before we kind of start wrapping it up here.
Sure. Well, Elizabeth and I were co-presidents of the engineering club prior to Jordan becoming the president. So we're still, I'm trying to still stay involved with that as well. We're working on building like some gas-powered RC helicopters. I don't have any pictures pulled up, but yeah, we do fun projects like that as well. So.
Well, I feel like we have the all-star team here. I just really want to thank our UW Green Bay students for taking the time out of their busy lives and being a part of this event. Just wishing you all the very best this spring semester as well. With that, I'd like to turn the program back over to our Director of Admissions, Rachel Bakke.
Thanks so much, Evelyn. And yeah, I just want to echo what Evelyn said. Many thank yous to the students that participated in the panel, as well as our faculty member for sharing your insight and all your expertise. So that brings us to the end of the UW Green Bay portion of the program. And now I'm going to hand it over to our friends at Nwtc, and Megan Favela is going to take it from here. We can see you, we can't hear you. Nope.
Hi, Megan. Can you hear me?
We do hear the faculty
turn the
member.
mic on. I'm not... So you can't hear me because I have my
Yes, we can hear you.
Mic on. It's excellent.
Yep. If you want to take it away, instructor, we are having trouble hearing Megan, so we hear you okay, Connie.
Okay, so you can see me. I'm going to need directions on how to flip the camera. I will introduce myself and then I'll wait for instructions. So my name is Connie Jordan and I am in the engineering tech hall here at NWTC, which is virtually a giant lab for all of our engineering programs. And I have with me today our Electromech instructor, Molly Delsart, and also one of our students in that program, Favor Butterfield. And I'm going to get started by flipping my camera if you can give me instructions, and I'm going to ask them a couple of questions. So who knows how to flip the camera? Otherwise, I'll just turn it on you, okay? And you guys can tell me when you see Molly. So can everybody see me? Put my hands up here. All right.
Yes, that looks great.
Folks, this is Molly Delsart. She's one of our excellent. She's one of our awesome instructors here at NWTC. I'm going to ask her a couple questions about the program. So Molly, you tell me, if you would please, why would a student want to pick electromechanical engineering or any one of our other engineering programs?
Sure. So we have a number of great programs that are all serviced in this giant tech hall. We're very proud of the fact that even through COVID, we've maintained a hands-on education in this time. So we've been able to institute policies where our tech hall has stayed open. And in this tech hall, we have biomedical engineering, we have automation engineering, we have electromech automation, and we have electrical engineering technology. We also have some utility students, we do solar and energy management. There are a number of great fields with lots and lots of employers asking us to turn out more students because there are more jobs than we have students graduating at this point.
So Molly, can you tell us how would students know if they're interested in joining NWTC in any one of these amazing engineering programs?
Sure. So a lot of times you hear engineering and you're like, I don't like math or I'm not fantastic at math. That has not held any of our students that come here back. Okay, we have a very hands-on education. If you're that kid that likes to know how things work, or you like to take apart your toys, or you took stuff apart, this is a great spot for you. If you like to be a problem solver, or you don't want to sit behind a desk every single day, or you want to be really hands-on in your career, this is a great fit for you. And there's a lot of demands and good paying jobs in these fields.
So you touched on it a little bit. So jobs, what kind of jobs are available, and what about advancement opportunities?
Sure. So, really, there are a variety of jobs you can get with careers that we have here. You get a 2-year degree. It's about $10,000 if you don't get any financial aid at all from our foundation, which happens to almost no one. So it's a very affordable, fast-paced way to get into a career where you can find out what you like to do, and then you can take more classes if you want. Our EET, Electrical Engineering Technology degree, is a 2-and-2 degree. You can get a 2-year associate, move on for 2 more years, and get a 2-year bachelor's degree. Okay? Or some people, if they get their 2-year degree, they go work at the hospital, they fix all the equipment that everyone needs so much these days with our biomed degree, and they love it. We have people that go in, they do field service, they travel all over the world for a couple of years. They make a great wage. And then maybe they want to be someone who does all the programming, or they want to design machinery. You can do any of those things with this degree. One of our former students went to work at the company I left when I came here to teach. One thing we're very proud of is that all of our instructors in this tech hall came from industry, okay? A lot of us have 20, 25 years experience, so we know what it takes to be successful. One of my students went and is working towards having my job at my old company and loves what she's doing, and she has a 2-year degree. I had a 4-year EE degree from MSOE that cost way more than her $10,000 degree.
I love it. Thank you, Molly. So now we're going to turn it over to Favor Butterfield, who I got to meet when she was in high school. Can you tell me if you can see? So, okay, Favor, welcome to this virtual event. This is so exciting to have you here today. So can you tell me, how did you get interested in electromechanical engineering?
I was in high school, and at first I knew I wanted something that I could play with, like hands-on experience, because I like taking stuff apart and putting it back together. So I met with my guidance counselor, and he said, why not take some classes, dual credits through NWTC? And so I did so and loved it. And with that, I was like, okay, I need to finish this program. Like, I love it so much. Like, what else can it offer? And so I continued on, and now I graduate in spring with Electromechanical Technology program.
That time went by so fast,
Yes,
didn't it?
right? It did. And like, I learned a lot, which is very helpful.
So can you tell me what you really like? I mean, I think there are probably a lot of things you really like about being in this program here at NWTC, but can you just give a couple highlights of what you really enjoy about this program?
I really enjoyed the robotics, having to jog it, pick up pegs, just seeing what a robot can do. And I was also able to go to an automation event in Chicago where the robots were actually making coffee in display. So seeing what I learned in classroom being used somewhere else and actually being practical. So that was really nice.
The practical use. I think
Yes.
I need one of those coffee making robots. So a bit of advice that you have, because we probably have high school students who might be tuning in right now or will watch later. What maybe 2 or 3 pieces of advice you have for high school students?
I'd say if you like hands-on experience, if you like being able to troubleshoot an equipment and just knowing that, hey, I looked at this, I figured it out, I fixed it, this is my work. I would come to NWTC. Plus, the instructors are very reliable and they help you with any problem you have. And if you're struggling with something, just say, hey, instructor, I need help. I know that this and this is what I did, but I don't know where else to go. And they will help you. And also, NWTC is affordable. Like, compared to other schools, it was like, oh, I'm getting a lot for my buck. That was why I
The return on your investment is excellent. So, and then taking classes in high school and earning NWTC credit, right?
Yep.
So we're going to we have a couple minutes and we want you to demonstrate what you've learned here at NWTC, because what I'm looking at, these are small units, but these mimic the actual units that you would see in a large manufacturing firm, right? So what would you like to show us that, how all this comes together? Give us a little demonstration.
First of all, this is my Automation 8 class. And right here is an HMI I built from scratch.
You tell me where to point, because
there you go. Okay, so this is the HMI I built, and this has 3 screens. One is the main, one is the manual, which highlights your job, whatever the machine's doing. And the next is maintenance. This is typical for what you'd see on any machine in the industry. So you'd have an HMI screen where you can program, you can start the machine. And then here I have my equipment, and this is a conveyor, and basically I have materials in there. I have about 3 in each one. And so when I start running this, you're going to see a green light, a yellow light, and a red light. The green is, I have 3 exact because that's what I have programmed in my HMI. And then the red's going to be empty, and yellow is half full.
so you program this machine to run properly. Yes. And this could be a demonstration of, okay, we're in Northeast Wisconsin. I'm thinking paper.
Yes.
I'm thinking toilet paper.
Exactly.
This might be a manufacturer of toilet paper,
Yes.
or cheese, or many other things that are manufactured throughout the state. Yes. Okay, let's give it a whirl.
And so you can see indexes, and then that's a green, and then goes in the hopper. And then next is going to index again. It's going to wait a minute.
So you had to program it to give it those directions.
Yes. And then you can see that it's yellow now. And then it indexes again, and then it's going to turn red, saying that the hopper is empty. And then the next, it indexes from the second material. And then it just keeps going until whatever recipe the program I did is finished, and then the machine will stop.
So you're learning, and if you make mistakes, this is the place to make them, because you learn from what you're doing to be successful going forward.
Yep.
All right. How are we doing on time?
You're doing okay, Connie. Can you hear me?
Okay.
And
Thank
then,
you, Megan. Yes.
Okay. You're still doing on good on
I also
time.
have my second.
Oh, just when you're speaking, can
What's
you
that?
just, if you can space the camera a little bit more, it's a little bit hard to hear when you turn away. So if you can just, when you're explaining the crazy cool thing you're doing, if you can just kind of face back, that'll help the audio just a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and then next up is a machine I programmed for controls. So this. So this machine, I have it programmed to follow a virtual axis. So this is my belt and flight conveyor. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, you direct it. That works.
Okay, there you go. So this is my flight conveyor, and this is my belt conveyor. And so I have them following a virtual axis and gearing up. And over here is my program. I'm just waiting for it to download for a minute, but
So you're downloading the program to actually direct the machine to work.
yes, it's going to follow a virtual axis, the flight and the belt conveyor. So right now is my trend, and I'm going to show you how it works just in a second. So this is my virtual axis, which is the blue line. And so my flight is my red, and my belt is my green. So they're going on a ratio of 2 to 4. And when I program it to run, first the virtual axis starts running. And then when I click the PB1 button, the flight goes, because I'm putting a product in. I don't know, can you show me?
There it goes.
Yes, the flight's running, and it's following the virtual axis. And if you look at the trend, it's doing the same thing. And if I hit another button, which would be the same PB1, it starts up the belt and the flight, because now I have both products in. If I hit the button again, then the flight ends, but the belt continues. So those are 3 different products that are following the virtual axis.
Wow. So there you have it. Did you want to add any other
super
bits of information? Did we lose it?
I don't know.
Any fun along the way?
Did we lose you?
Yeah, I think we lost it.
No, you're still
Did we
there.
lose
You're
you, Megan?
good. Can you hear?
Oh, okay.
All right.
You're still good.
All right.
I just wanted to give the chance, if students had any questions for Favor, to go ahead and pop those in the chat really quick before we move on into the next section. We'll give students a little bit of a chance here to see if they have any questions that they want to ask a current student at TC. Nothing yet. So Favor, can you tell us what your favorite thing is about being a student on NWTC's campus?
A student at NWTC campus. That's a great question. I love being a student here because I was able to learn a lot of skills that I can use in the field. So right now I'm interning at EMT, and right there, and like I've used a lot of the classes, the skills I've learned from them, like mechanics. I've had to use being able to use an HMI, a conveyor. Everything I learned in my classes are actually coming into use at my internship. And it's going to help me further along if I do decide to go to a 4-year or further my education.
Awesome. We don't have any questions that have popped up yet. So anything else you want to add for students that are considering coming to NWTC for engineering technology?
I'd say come and start up the program. You can start with certificate and work your way up. Just get to know the program and just see what you like, because everyone's different, but I guarantee you're going to like something with programs.
Yeah, come take a tour.
Yes, exactly.
We'll give you a tour anytime.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We're going to switch over here to Gucci. I don't see any other questions that have popped in, so thank you so much for your time today. We're going to go ahead and pop over to Gucci, who is in our civil engineering area. So wait to see Gucci. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Gucci.
Okay.
Oh, Connie, I think you're still. Yeah, we can. Okay, good. Connie, your mic was still on. I think you're good now. So, yep, Gucci, we can hear you and see you.
All right. And then I guess before I get started, how do I flip the camera?
I believe you should be able to tap the kind of camera bottom at the bottom and have it flip around, but I know Blackboard Collaborate is a little bit different than what we've used before. So if it doesn't work that way, see.
Well, I guess I'll get started, and then if someone can let me know how to switch the camera, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you can always.
My name is Gucci, and I am one of the career coaches at Preble High School. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your counselor or reach out to me to get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help answer any questions that, for any of the things that you see today. And so let me figure out. So I'm trying to switch my camera. I'm sorry in advance. Looks like we're having some technical issues.
Gucci, if you can't get it to turn around for you, go ahead and can you turn just the whole iPad around?
There.
I'll just hang on.
All right, sounds good. We have one of our expert faculty programs, faculty here today with us, and I'll go ahead and let you take it away.
Okay, hello, can everybody see me and hear me?
Yes, we can see and hear you.
Okay,
You're
so my
good.
name is Tim Tomolonovich. Okay, so welcome. My name is Tim Tomolonovich. I'm a civil engineering technology faculty here at Nwtc, and we're outside in our hallway here, and we're in the building construction building. So what I would like to talk to you about civil engineering technology. So basically, just a brief summary. Our program consists, it's kind of two programs combined in one. One, I'm a civil engineer, and we do a lot of materials testing, concrete, asphalt, and soil. And then also on the other half of the program, we do surveying. Okay, and later on in this program, Mark Kameen, he's the surveying instructor. He'll give you an introduction on surveying. So it's a very flexible program. There's two programs into one. Our students, basically, they're called civil engineering technicians, so we can go on the civil engineering side of things, testing materials and construction, and then there's the surveying side of things. So right now, I'd like to kind of walk into the lab here, and we can kind of show you the lab space. So I'm going to kind of talk behind you here, so I'll move it slowly. So this is my lab space. So in here at Nwtc, we have the pleasure of being able to use the latest industry equipment. So basically, our faculty advisory committees, they guide us on what they need from our students as employers. So basically, this lab is a typical construction materials lab that you would see in industry. So as you can look, way in the back there, I have the yellow thing is a concrete mixer. So our students, we actually do concrete mix design. We test the concrete. You see a lot of scales here. We do compression testing. And then over here, as you can see, Clark and Gucci and Mark over here, we do a lot of soil testing. Right now, right there, as I'm doing a hydrometer test to determine the size between silt and clay for geotechnical analyses. So this is kind of a quick nutshell of what our lab, my side of the lab looks like. So again, our students typically, they're on either side of the field. Our graduation rate is 100% employed in the field, just like electrical mech. We don't have enough students to provide our employers just in the Green Bay area, so which is an amazing problem to have. So our students are very versatile in our training. So with that, if anybody else, have any immediate questions, I'll bring it back to Gucci here.
Tim, I do have a question for you. So you talked a lot, you kind of showed a space here, looks like some great hands-on learning. What specific classes could students expect to take? How can they prepare in high school?
So just like civil engineering is a lot of math, okay? So everybody gets scared of math, but however, at Nwtc here, we have a lot of hands-on practical experience, so we're taking that math and actually applying it to industry problems, real-world life examples out there. So we give you a little bit of a theory in the background, and then we actually bringing it into the labs and actually showing you how to do those calculations. It's like, again, it's a really hands-on lab. We're kind of the eyes and ears of the engineers that sit in the office. So that's what our students do. So math and science and engineers, we love, we're curious on how things are built, constructed, designed, torn apart. So if you're in electrical, mechanical, civil, it's all the same thing. So, we're designing and building things.
So it sounds like a lot of our students get a lot of the knowledge and the skills they need in order to be employed, have a great career and great salary. This is a 2-year associate's degree.
Yes.
What do students need to get a career in the architectural or in civil engineering area?
What do we need as far as classes?
Yep. What degree do students need?
It's just a 2-year associate degree. We are ABAT accredited, and when students graduate out of our program, because we're ABAT accredited, they're allowed to take these surveying licensing exam because we're ABAT accredited. And if students want to, they can go on to a 4-year degree to get their 4-year degree. We get a handful every so often. It's not really necessary. Our students are very successful in their careers. Average starting salary is about $48,000 a year. And they've gone up, we've seen up to $100,000 a year managing projects without a 4-year degree. So if you have the will and the way, a 4-year degree really isn't necessary in our field because of the demand. And it's just, I think students go on to get their 4-year just because they love to learn and just want to know a little bit more. But to be successful in this, if you have the will to learn and drive and love the hands-on and not being in an office environment all the time, this is the program.
Awesome. So it sounds like our students are career ready, have a great future, an area to grow. And speaking of students, we actually do have a student that I'd like to introduce you to. We're going to meet Clark here. And Clark,
Hey,
can you
Gucci.
just, again, introduce yourself, your name, what program you're in, and how long you've been in the program.
Hey, Gucci, really quick. Can you flip your camera to be in portrait? Or just move the iPad to be in portrait? Hopefully it should, no. JK, go back. It's not flipping to match it on our screen. So go ahead and rotate it back your way and we'll see if that.
Is this better?
It's not necessarily giving us it's not flipping on our end. So you can go back to the portrait. Yeah, thank you. I figured I'd try it, but it looks like it's not gonna work. So yep, go ahead and stick with that one.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right. So we'll have we'll have Clark go ahead and take it away, Clark.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Clark Spaniel. I'm in my first year I'm in my first year here at Nwtc in the Civil Engineering Technician program.
All right. And how, just for some of our students here, they always ask me as a career coach, how do I know, that the program is a good fit for you? How did you find out that this program is a good fit for you?
Well, it's kind of interesting in my case. I was actually attending Fox Valley Technical College in the Natural Resources program, and there I discovered surveying, which ultimately led me to find this program because they offer surveying within the Civil Engineering Technician program. So then I got here and I was able to see all the different opportunities that you can get with this program, which includes the civil engineering side with material handling, a lot of surveying stuff, and also the use of AutoCAD, Civil 3D, computer programming for drafting, things like that.
All right. So it sounds like you get a lot of hands-on experience as a student. What do you think of your instructors and the program as a whole?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been great so far. We definitely get out and we get to experience a lot of hands-on things, so you can kind of get an idea of what to expect in the field or in the workforce. The instructors are great. I mean, it's nice because the labs for both sides of the program are right next to each other, so you kind of have that constant access to both instructors. It's kind of a tight-knit community here in the civil engineering side. You get to know your classmates really well, and overall it's just a great experience.
Awesome. So it sounds like a good, small, personalized classroom instruction.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then I believe we're going to jump into our next lab over here. We have another one of our expert faculty to talk to us today. We have Mark. You want to take it away?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
All right.
You want me to take
Sure,
it?
yeah.
Hello, my name is Mark Kameen. I am the survey instructor here in the Civil Engineering Technology program. And like Clark and Tim said, our classrooms are very close to each other. So we just left Tim's classroom in his materials lab, and now we're here in the survey lab. I don't know exactly what you can see here, but in here we have 24 computers. That is our max size for our program. Allows students to have access to all kinds of different software and technology that we use on a daily basis. You can see up here on the screen, we're showing one of our programs that we use quite a bit, what's known as Civil 3D. It's a drafting program. So that's one of the things you can get into when you're in this program if you like computers and you like doing some of the more office work. It allows us to draft items such as properties, and in this case, this is actually Green Bay East High School. It was a project that our students did some years back where they went out actually in the field using equipment and did what's known as a planimetric and topo survey, and were able to get the school as well as the surrounding Joannes Park football field and things of that nature. So we get to do a lot of hands-on stuff out in the community, such as projects like that. And speaking of equipment other than computers, hopefully I'm not getting you too dizzy here. You can see here we have some of the state-of-the-art materials and systems that you would use out in industry. You can see here on what would be the left-hand side is what's known as a GPS. That's what we use to be able to collect data out in the field using satellites in space. On the right-hand side here is what's known as a total station, which we use a laser to be able to collect that same data. So you get to be using this type of equipment that you would normally use out in industry. And we do have partnerships with some of the larger companies that allows us to use, again, the most state-of-the-art. This total station that you see here actually has the ability to scan. So if you see some of the things like objects like in Minecraft and stuff like that, getting 3D imagery, that thing can collect data so you can see items like that. And again, like Clark said, because of the relative closeness to the classrooms, we have access to the students at all times. It's really nice. You can come ask questions. I know Clark would also say that we're always available to help students. And like Tim said, as far as what you need for to come in this program, obviously math and science is important, and the understanding that even if you may be a little weak at those subjects, we help you in those subjects when you get here. So even if you have a little bit of an anxiety about that, we're going to help you get through those items. So.
Mark, do you have anything else to add to that?
Not unless there's any specific questions or.
Megan, did we get any questions?
We haven't gotten any questions yet. But students, if you do have them, make sure to pop them in your chat. We've got about 2 minutes left. So I'll kind of monitor here, but just to kind of reiterate to the students, NWTC is known, you can see it's very hands-on. We've got lots of cool classroom spaces and faculty that are really engaged and involved and really excited to be there with you. So if you do have a question, feel free to put it in there for us to answer. But a little bit about NWTC, we are a 2-year technical college, so many of the degrees we're going to offer are going to be either 1- or 2-year degrees. As some of the instructors have mentioned, you can use those to then transfer to other schools as well. So for example, with a lot of our engineering programs, we have 2-and-2 agreements with UWGB and other institutions around the state where you can do 2 years at NWTC in one of the associate degrees and then transfer to one of the 4 years and complete your bachelor's degree in engineering or engineering technician. So it's a great place to start. It's very affordable, very hands-on. Some classes, just think about when you're in high school. You guys are so lucky in Green Bay Public Schools to have some wonderful dual credit options that are available to you. So talk to your counselor. If you're a sophomore or junior, get that on your schedule, right? If you're interested in engineering, take a look at some of those courses. Make sure you've got those math classes and those science classes hammered down and get those kind of on the schedule. So we're kind of at our time. I want to just make sure, were there any questions that students had? Please put them in the chat. I'll give you our joke is always 6 seconds in our office, so I'll give you a full 6 seconds here to do so. But and I guess anything else from UWGB, Evelyn, anything else that you needed to add at all?
No, thank you. We are good.
Okay, I waited the 6 seconds. I guess no one had any questions. So students, if you do, you can always find your career coach at your high school too. So we have there are 2 of us at each school. You met many of us today. Please reach out to us or talk to your counselor. They can get you in touch with us as well. Otherwise, I think thanks for coming. Have a good rest of your Wednesday and stay warm.
Thank you, Megan. All right, so to leave the session, students, over on the left-hand side, there's 3 lines. You can click on that and then go to the bottom to leave the session. Rachel, any parting words?
No, I just want to thank everyone and wish you all a great rest of the day.